Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I am going to make a cake, but for decorating I won't be using any frosting like cream or like any kind of chocolate also. This will be a healthier version of a cake, and this cake is also not very Christmassy also because it is not a plum cake which I am going to make here. So let's begin. So I will be using some nuts and dry fruits. For that, you can soak them in the orange juice for one day before. If you don't, you can easily microwave them for just 1 minute and it will be ready to use, and then keep them aside. So I will be using 3 eggs for making this cake. So now I am going to add the powdered sugar. This is basically 4 tablespoons of sugar. You can also use other like jaggery or any kind of other sugars if you prefer to make it healthier. Added 3 tablespoons of oil and whisked it really well. Prefer to use a bigger whisk. If you have a blender, that would be great, but if you do not have, hand blender is the only way to make a fluffy and yummy cake. So I have done this for at least 3 to 4 minutes, and then I am going to add the yogurt. Make sure the yogurt is not that much chilled. It should be a kind of room temperature, and then whisk it well. Then I also made sure that the milk I am going to use, it is not chilled as well. So again I am going to use room temperature milk here. So I used kind of half cup of milk, and then I whisked it again. Make sure this whisking is going to make your cake soft because this adds the air into it. So now it's time to mix all the dry ingredients. I have taken 1.5 cup of flour or maida, and then I have added the 1 tablespoon of baking powder and mix it well, and make sure you are using a strainer so that there are no lumps in your cake. And then I also added baking soda, which I used only half tablespoon for this whole dry mixture. So I was mixing them quickly, and you will see the strainer is going to help to mix all the dry ingredients in the wet mixture of the cake. And now it's time to combine the wet and the dry ingredients, for which it is very important that you do with the help of a spatula or a wooden spoon rather than using a whisk. Okay, and this is called cut and fold method. And if it feels dry, you can use little bit of milk as I used, and then also add the essence of your choice, like I have used the butterscotch essence, and then mix everything very well and do not over whisk it. Okay, that's why cut and fold method is really useful. You can see how well the dry ingredients has easily combined with the wet ingredients and turned into a very semi liquid mixture. It is not very much liquidy, but it is good enough for making and baking the cake. So now you can see the texture of the batter. So once the batter is like this consistency, it's time to add the soaked nuts and all the dry fruits that you want to add, and give it a mix for once so that everything is incorporated well. I'm not using that much dry fruits like it is used mostly in the winter cakes or the Christmas cakes, but you can easily use more amount of dry fruits or any kind of nuts as you wish. So now I will be pouring them into the baking tray. Make sure that there is no much lumps. Kindly wait for it so that the air bubbles go from the batter. And now it is time to bake it. So I had make sure that the oven was preheated at 180 degrees Celsius for at least 10 minutes, and after that only I baked the cake like 2 times at 180 degree once and then 200 degrees later. So now the cake is done. It's time for decorating. But kindly wait for the cake to cool down before you are decorating it. But for decoration, I am not using cream. This is basically yogurt. So I have used the yogurt. You can add a little bit of sugar in it. But I also prefer the homemade yogurt that I make in my house. And then I use some butterscotch nuts to decorate it. I know it's kind of simple, but this simple cake is really yummy as well. And if you try it at your home, like within like 2 to 3 hours, you can easily bake a cake and make it ready for any occasions, birthdays, or even if you want to pamper yourself. So instead of like butterscotch nuts or yogurts, you can add any other toppings of your likings. But this also looks yummy if you do not like chocolate toppings at least. So do make it and have a great day everyone. Bye.